So basically, we have some special visitors from Israel who have visited Uganda, and it is especially remarkable because of the Ebola situation, which has been blown out of proportion internationally. As you will see, Uganda is safe. In fact, it's now 10 days since we last heard of any Ebola case. And if it continues that way, in the next 2 weeks, Uganda will be declared Ebola-free. But they came despite strong reservations, even by the government of Israel, about the situation of Ebola in the region. So we salute them for coming. Israel are a great friend of Uganda, and we have strong historical relations with Israel and the people of Israel. So these three individuals were hostages here in 1976, the Israeli hostage crisis, which culminated in the Operation Entebbe, a counterterrorism operation by Israeli commandos who came here on the 3rd of July 1976 and successfully evacuated their citizens. By far, one of the most successful counterterrorism operations in modern military history. It was a very, very significant achievement. Of course, some 3 hostages died here, and the overall commander of the operation, Colonel Yoni Netanyahu, plus the lady who was in Mulago Hospital, who was also later executed. But over 100 hostages were rescued, I think 103. So that one was a very sad episode in the history of Uganda-Israel relations, but also an instrumental lesson that the forces of evil can never triumph over the forces of righteousness. There is no justification, even now, to abduct, kidnap, or take hostage civilians and children. These people were children at that time as hostages for any reason. In Uganda, we have had our own issues with groups like the Lord's Resistance Army, the Allied Democratic Forces. They also abduct children, they abduct women, they kill civilians. Very abhorrent acts for anyone saying they are fighting for a just cause. So in that sense, Israel is a very strong demonstration of a country which is small geographically, but very determined and resilient as a nation and as a people. That's why they have been able to achieve all this. They live in a very volatile region of the Middle East, but they have stood their ground. And we salute the people of Israel for the many successes. And we have a lot to learn from Israel in terms of what they have been able to achieve for their country across all spheres of development. These 3 individuals who were children that time, one of them lost their parent here. They came to pay tribute to those who died, but they also came to commemorate the 50th anniversary of that successful rescue operation, and also to pay homage to the Israeli military forces who conducted the operation and ultimately rescued them. They have now grown, they are old people, they have children and grandchildren. So it again is a good example of when a country invests in its military forces, like we have done in Uganda. The country is peaceful and secure because of a strong Uganda People's Defense Forces.
First, for me, it's very difficult because my father was killed right here. So for me, I feel like a child again to say goodbye to my father, because I saw him the last time it was here, and then never again. It's confusing because now we feel like you people are welcoming us like family. And it feels so good. The hotel, everybody is so nice, everybody is so kind. And it's hard to explain, you know, when you go back after 50 years and I just see myself again as 8 years old. I go back to be a child again. And the most important thing for me to come here was just to say goodbye to my father. That was the purpose of the whole trip for me, to come and tell him goodbye, to tell him that I'm okay. That's it. That's all I wanted. Nothing more. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I don't know, maybe more, because we have war all the time now and we get bombed all the time. And my mother, she woke up in the morning and she sent me, maybe in 5 in the morning, she's sending me the picture from the internet of the Ugandan chief of staff of the army, that he said that he wants to send soldiers to help Israel. And my mother called me and I said, look how the world has changed. 50 years, a big change, and to hear that your chief of staff, you say, right, of the army?
Yeah, chief of staff, exactly.
He says, we want to help you guys. We will come to help you. That's unbelievable. That's a new world, guys, a new world. So it makes me very, very emotional. I don't believe that in our days, the army, any army, can do something like this. It was the biggest operation in the world. I don't know if you can do it nowadays, but I do want the young generations to learn about what the Israeli soldiers did. You know, they rescued their life. The commander has died, Netanyahu. He gave his life for us. Another soldier, he's completely handicapped, and he's a good friend of ours. He's like a father to us. So we stay in touch with him, and every time I see him, I know that he gave his body for me. So it's not easy, but I want the young generation to understand that terror will give you nothing. We will always, always win when it comes to terror, because at the end, the good people win. And the Israeli army, they know their job. And I know in the world, people look at us like we are bad people or we're doing bad things. People in the world, they forget what happened in October 7. They forgot that we get hit all the time, every time, again and again and again, but they will not let us down. You know, we are children of God. No one will ever prevail Israel. No one. That's the message. They want to kill us? Try. Try. So you killed my father, okay, but I'm here. I have children. I have a granddaughter. She's 2 months. And one day, she will see her grandma standing here with the Star of David and with you guys as friends, like family. So it's possible, you know? It's possible. People love each other. We don't need to fight.
Once we, and I mean the three of us, which are only 3 parts of a larger group of the kids of Entebbe, like 10 or 15 kids, we're all in contact with. Once we decided that it's appropriate for us to close the circle and come back here after 50 years, there was no stopping us. Nothing would have stopped us. And I said it yesterday to Her Excellency, who was not in the room, but I spoke my words to the Vice President. I have nothing but amazement and total respect to what the Ugandan government and the Ugandan media and the Ugandan army and the Ugandan security services are doing for us. We thought that we're on a small tourist group of 4 or 5, doing a couple of interviews, getting very, very emotional naturally, because we are kids, and as Tzipi said, we're sending ourselves in a time machine to become 6 and 8 and 13 all over again, just like that. But the amount of support, and I would even say love,
From the minute we landed.
and compassion and assistance in whatever we're simple people. I always say I was at the wrong place at the wrong time and got hijacked, and I was at the right place at the right time to didn't get a shot in the head and kill myself and get killed. I am no hero, neither is Shai nor is Tzipi. The heroes are the soldiers and the pilots. We're no heroes, we're simple people. And we're getting treated as if we are very important people, celebs. So it's a little awkward for us. But at the same time, we understand what is that message from Uganda to Israel through us. And I'm replying in kind and saying, after 50 years, or many years back maybe, Uganda has changed. And Israel and Uganda are like that. And the best testimony for that is the way that you treat us from the minute we landed yesterday until the minute we take off tomorrow morning. And I know, I'm sure Tzipi and Shai the same, we now have friends in Uganda. Good friends that we can call and we can talk and we can exchange ideas, and with the media, very, very open, write some things and comment on something and share our ideas or our message that love and peace and friendship eventually will always prevail, no matter what challenges others will try to put in front of us. So firstly, Tzipi lost her father, the late Dr. Pasco Cohen, here in the battle. So firstly, we lit a candle for his memory, which is right there. Then we lit another candle for the memory of the other 4 who never returned. There were another 3 hostages that never returned: Ida Borochovich, Jean-Jacques Maimoni, and Dora Bloch, who was killed after Idi Amin's security forces kidnapped her from the hospital and killed her cold-blooded. But last and not least, Yoni Netanyahu, the commander of the Sayeret Matkal, of the commando unit, who was placed right on the tarmac in front, guarding his people, telling each one of them where to go, got shot.
From this tower.
From this tower, right above us. I'm speaking very, very frankly and very, very openly. We're surrounded by Ugandan soldiers. And I should have been feeling quite terror to being surrounded again by Ugandan soldiers. Okay? I'm not. I feel very, very comfortable.
Safe.
I feel at home. I feel safe. I feel that people want to be with me. So whoever was the Ugandan soldier that did his job back then, 50 years ago, that it's not the same as the Uganda that we face and meet today. And I am fully thankful for you allowing us to feel, not just to articulate, but to feel internally in our bodies that warm feeling of security and freedom that we so much wanted to close the circle in this specific place. Smell is a very, very strong memory, much more than taste and much more than other things, even more than the eyes. And the entering this room and looking, at the results of the gunfight that was here, you know, we were not part of the gunfight. We were lying on the floor with shots running all over here, so it immediately threw me back to those long minutes. They told me that the operation was like a couple of minutes, but as a kid of 13-year-old, I felt that it was like lasted 10, 15, half an hour. But, you know, I wasn't aware. It brings lots of memories, you know. We were playing, on Thursday afternoon, we were playing outside on the tarmac. That's the first day that the terrorists allowed us to go breathe a little bit. Now, how can you play when you're a victim of terror? But that's the mindset of a kid. They let you play, so you take the opportunity and you go back to your routine of playing, masking to some extent the terror and the fear, until we made too much noise, so Shai got slapped by the German terrorists, which was like a wake-up call. Hello, you're not in a playground, you're under a terror. So there are like probably dozens, if not hundreds, of different, very, very deep, very, very emotional memories that have been cemented in our bodies 50 years ago, and being here, smelling the smells, seeing the walls, and especially meeting you people with such warm welcoming allows us to become really free in our minds and in our body, as opposed to how we were here 50 years ago.